to be 2013 to 2015 operator license for Diana M. Meyer at Tally's Tavern Eatery and Ariel Vaccaro at the Legends at Merrill Hills. Can we take these both at once?
Yes, you may.
I'll make a motion to approve both licenses.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to C, update on the town of Waukesha Town Hall on-site sewage disposal system and water.
As I last reported, that there was going to be a water commission meeting on August 15th. Unfortunately, that was changed to tonight. I was all set to attend that, but duties called me here. And that's where we stand, folks, on the Water Utility Commission that is reviewing the town of Waukesha's request for municipal sewer. After that, it's still not finished. John, you had indicated to me that the city's all ready to rock and roll and move on this. I guess I'm not sure who you talked to, but as I will go further, we're far from that cause. You remember who you spoke with and made that statement?
Yes, tell me where you're headed, Mike.
Okay, I'm headed to further on in this piece of paper. Who did you speak to that said the city's ready to go, let's move on?
I spoke to a number of people. Where are you headed, Mike?
Can you give me a hint?
Where are you headed, Mike?
Well, where I'm headed is, after the Water Commission this evening, then it's gotta go in front of the Board of Public Works, and then the attorneys have to look at it. There are no guidelines as to a timetable, which is very restrictive with our timetable, looking at winter coming on. So I was curious to know, who gave you this false information? I'm looking at a lot of things that have to be accomplished here, and it's not being accomplished. The wheels turn slowly, John, and I am interested to know who is making these comments to you.
All right. Well, first of all, Mike, if the wheels are turning slowly, that's in your court. You decided that you were gonna take this upon yourself rather than have somebody who does this for a living and take care of it. That's number one. Number two, who I spoke with. I've been in contact with Dan Dukniak, who heads the water utility. I've been in contact with folks in the engineering department, and I've been in contact with the city administrator. You are correct. First, it goes through the Water Commission. They refer it to the community development, and they prepare a recommendation, voted on it, and I believe it passed this evening. The DPW, the Department of Public Works Commission, votes on the sewage treatment. That is slated, I believe, for their next meeting. With regard to attorneys, of course attorneys are going to draft an agreement between the city and the town regarding that issue. But nothing's stalled, nothing's stopped, it's moving forward.
Well, in my way of looking at it, it's definitely stalled. The process here just doesn't, okay, I won't go there. You indicated that Dan Duzniak, the communication with him and the city administrator, something fell through the cracks right from the beginning, because as you are well aware, at the meeting that we sat back in June 21st on a Friday, and Mr. Day indicated very clearly that the city administrator would be sending a letter to the city administrator, and the city administrator would be going forward. No calls were returned by me. So I'm left in the dark from the city administrator right from that very start.
Why don't you call him back?
Pardon?
Why don't you call him back?
Okay.
I think what, Mike, did you just say that you're not returning his calls? Or
He's not returning my call.
Thank you.
Okay? Now, based on that, to get a clear process of how this moves along, very late coming. There's no volunteer in it. As far as I can control the schedule, that's way off base. There's a element there perhaps to discredit my efforts. We do have engineering that is done in place to the tune of about $4,900. We cannot go further based on what the city will demand of us. It's very clear in this letter that's in front of you guys that we've authorized Chris Janelli $7,500, and he's did work for $4,900, and has to stop work depending on the outcome of an actual indication from the city of what they want. How can you engineer something if you don't have it in your hands from the people that are doing the requesting? It's impossible. So that being said, we maybe being stoned. Why would they change now? I'll tell. I looked at the agenda for the last 2013, and invariably every third Thursday came up. All of a sudden on August 15th, that Thursday is no good. It's the Thursday that the town of Waukesha has a meeting. I can't be in two places at one time.
Well, Mike, if you think that it's stalling and being stonewalled, you decided to take this project on.
So what's the point?
The point is, take the project on and complete it. If you choose to do it, complete it. Find out what the stall is, find out who's stalling, and fix it. Find a solution.
They don't reply. Apparently the people that are
Call
talking to you.
twice.
Okay, the people that are talking to you, John, indicated everything's fine and dandy. You give me their names, you give me their numbers, I'll confirm that.
I just did.
Okay, Dan Guzniak is city administrator. Who was the person in the engineer department that said the city's all happy to make this fly?
We have spoke with Paul Day, have we not?
June 21st, but I sat in there, I know what
Have
he
you
said.
called him again? That was how many months ago? Why don't you call him again and follow up and
Yeah.
find a solution to the task that you decided you were going to undertake?
Paul Day will definitely indicate to me that it's in the hands of the Public Works and the Water Commission.
Then
How does he know
contact
more?
those people. Follow up, follow through. You decided to take this on yourself.
That's
Finish it.
4 times now. Did I decide to take this? Oh, yeah.
Yes, you did.
Oh, okay. That's
Mr.
5 times.
Mr. Chairman, can I offer something here? Leaving aside for a minute the city approvals and so forth, there are many, many technical and procedural decisions that need to be made, options to consider with regard to this particular project. I will offer tonight to identify those either in a face-to-face meeting with you, Mike. I'll put them in an email and send them to Jamie or whatever. But if the city said go before the sun sets tomorrow, we have an awful lot of things to do and consider that I submit have not even been considered. This is a sandbox I've played in professionally for the last 35 years. I know what's going on. I make myself available to the town to move this along, or it's not going to happen. And I offer that in a constructive way. There's an awful lot of stuff that hasn't even been thought about or considered. So I leave that as an open invitation. I'm offering that through the chair, but Mike, you can respond to this. I'll sit down with you tomorrow. If you want to give you a list of stuff you need to do, I'll help you, support you in any way, but we've got to move this thing along. I'll put them in an email if you would prefer, but my anxiety level's starting to rise. There's an awful lot of stuff that needs to be done to get this done and get it done right in a timely manner. And I'm not going to waste people's time with it tonight, but there are many, many decisions that need to be made.
Those decisions need to be made at a city level. I don't believe any of your emails will help in that sense. When I get the green light, sure, I may be open for some information, but we haven't got the green light yet, and we're away from it, not under my control or any control that you have over the city.
Mike, these are not decisions at the city level. I can start to run through a whole bunch of them. What are we going to do with it? What's the destiny of the existing septic tank? What are we going to do? We currently have a lift pump that takes sewage out of the fire department, lifts it up into it to go by gravity. There's options. Are we going to take and hook that up directly, or are we not? There's all kinds of things that need to be considered in this. Routing past, what do we make for future provisions? The issues about sizing a water main, that answer is not going to come from the city in terms of the appropriate sizing that. for future fire protection system. I could go on for the next 10 or 15 minutes here with technical decisions which have nothing to do with the city.
And I
That we're gonna
appreciate,
have to do, and I'm offering to help you.
I appreciate
If you want
that.
if you don't want any help, then just say, I don't want any help. I mean,
I won't
you're
say
drowning
that.
here and I'm trying to help you.
I gotta believe a lot of that stuff that you indicated is already finished. And, because we have $4,900 worth of work done on the job. So it would be duplication. I appreciate your efforts and your offering up, but at this point in time, I'm waiting for the city, and we'll go from there.
Have you discussed any of those kinds of things with Chris Janelli?
I've had discussions with Chris Janelli, and we're set on the same course. Get this thing done when we can get it done. And yes, we all know winter is coming, but once again, because of the city, don't hold me hostage over the city's timetable. It's getting redundant, and it's very politicking, and I don't need you guys to run my election for next April.
I'm not interested in election, I'm interested in the septic system at the town of Waukesha and the sewer. My request, I guess, would be, is I would like to see then what $4,900 is bought from Rooker and Milky. I'd like to see it sooner rather than later. And if we've got some preliminary drawings and that type of thing, I'd like to see those, offer some comment and so forth on those. Is that an unreasonable request? It has nothing to do with the city, not.
I think that if I hear what you're saying, Brian, we have the pleasure of Chris Janelli in our presence here in just 2 weeks. I think it would be perfectly appropriate to, I mean, we can read his letter. It seems like he's saying, hey, my hands are tied, I can't go any further. I think some of the concerns you brought up are certainly engineer stuff. I mean, the size of the pipe, the path that it's going to take, those were, as I recall, specific things that Chris was discussing, and that's engineer work, that's not supervisor work, that's his work. And he's saying, and he said it here a number of times orally just after meeting conversation, that, you know, he needs some direction from the city to say, you gotta come here, you gotta go there, and then we need to say whether or not that's cool with us or not. And what if the city says, no, get lost, we're not hooking you up? I mean, if Ed Henschel isn't getting on the phone with Mike, but he is getting on the phone with John, which is possible. It's possible that they are not giving any credence to any information coming from Mike. And no matter how, you could call 100 times, they may not still answer, because that could be the reality, because they could feel, without any, you know, stuff in the bushes kind of thing, they could feel, hey, we're communicating to your chair those same questions that Mike may be asking, and they feel that we should be getting those answers through that mechanism versus through him. So there's a good chance that the city may feel that they're working with two people, being the chair and Mike, and the third person being our engineer, in working on this project.
I'm leaving this.
Let's move forward on this. First of all, there's no miscommunication with the city with regards to who they're communicating with. They're not communicating me surreptitiously and not letting Mike know. There's no conspiracy theory. There's no conspiracy with regards to moving meetings so that Mike couldn't attend. That's all utter nonsense. The fact is that while we sit here and we bicker about this nonsense, we are pumping our septic system sometimes twice a month, sometimes once a month, and flushing money, taxpayer money, down the toilet. I would make a motion that we remove Mike from this project and we give it to Supervisor Fischer to undertake and complete, so that we stop spending needless money getting our septic system pumped needlessly. It's the profession that he's in. He understands it from start to finish. Why wouldn't we utilize that?
Your motion pertains that had Brian been in communication with the city, that the city would have already secured a vote, told our engineer all they needed to know to do this, and all because Brian's prettier, or Brian's smarter with regard to engineering, or
No, what
Brian's
my
not
motion
pretty or smart,
pertains-
but he'll second the motion.
What my motion pertains to is the fact that we need to get this done. You have a man sitting over there with 30 or 35 years of experience doing exactly this. Why aren't we utilizing that experience? Why wouldn't you utilize that? What sense does this make to have somebody who's
Because-
never put in a septic system to be involved in that system?
Because
And if
you
they
have a
don't like
town
talking to
engineer.
Mike, and if they don't like talking to Mike, for whatever reason, if he's got a conspiracy theory that he thinks the city of Waukesha is against him and trying to undermine him, then let's move on and get it fixed. I don't care who they talk to, as long as we hook up and we stop flushing 10 grand a year down the toilet, getting our septic pumped.
Twisting
Thought it
words
was
down
100.
time.
I'm not twisting.
Hey, how much
words.
did we spend this month on pumping that puppy? 0. Thank you. Needless to say,
It got pumped last week, thank you, Mike. You're incorrect. It got pumped last week, Mike.
you're pitting me against the movement of the city's various departments.
No, you're
And
kidding yourself, Mike.
You would like to install Fischer in my place, the same individual that's fingerprints are on the engineering of the '01 firehouse addition. It's the same individual's fingerprints are on the destruction of what septic leach we had going for us back in November.
Please, the
2000.
destruction. Hold on,
Knock
Mike.
it
Mike,
off.
I don't think
Knock
that you
it
should
off.
be making allegations that somebody intentionally damaged town property.
When you throw 2,000 gallons, pump it.
Are you
Not
making
just-
that, are you making that accusation right now that I ruined the town of Waukesha septic system? Supervisor Laska, yes or no?
I don't make accusations.
I'm asking you, you
I
just
don't
did. Did I ruin it?
By putting 2,000 gallons in it?
Of clear water? Yes, sir.
I sincerely believe that can add to the destruction.
Did I ruin the septic system in the town of
I didn't
Waukesha?
say that. I said.
Well, I thought you were dangerously close. What are you saying?
I'm saying that by throwing $2,000 at one time.
$2,000
2,000 gallons,
of clear water?
prosecuting attorney Fisher.
All right, defendant Laska, what? That ruined our
I'm all for
town,
the vote. I got it.
1958 town septic system? You got to be joking me.
Let's call, I'm gonna call for a vote, let's
Sure.
move on.
Let's do it.
Roll call, please. Or let's reread the motion, please.
Replace Mike.
The motion from Chairman Merrick was to remove Supervisor Laska and replace for the project of the status of the town of Waukesha Town Hall on-site sewage disposal system in place on Supervisor Fisher.
Please call a vote.
Chairman Merrick.
Yes.
Supervisor Bansky.
No.
Supervisor Wolf.
No.
Supervisor Laska.
No,
Supervisor Fisher.
Yes.
Motion failed.
All right, we'll move on.